He needs more snaps. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jace Andrews, and I'm going to tell you who I'm talking about in today's show. Could I be talking about an offensive member of the Chiefs, a defensive member, or maybe I'm talking about someone not even on the Chiefs? Find out in today's Chiefs Report. He needs more snaps. But before we get into it, I need your help. You see, I'm trying to grow this channel as much as possible, and I want to grow Chiefs Kingdom as much as possible. And the easiest way to do that is by joining me and joining this Chiefs Report community by hitting that red subscribe button and turning it gray to make sure that you are a part of the Chiefs Report family and you never miss a video. We're putting out daily Chiefs content, Chiefs news, Chiefs rumors, and with the trade deadline coming up, it's a good time to subscribe because we got some lot of trade rumors coming up. But for now, let's get into this one. We appreciate you taking your time out of your day to watch the Chiefs Report. Again, my name is Jace Andrews, and super excited you chose to watch us. Today, we're going to answer your questions. We took some questions on YouTube, on our community page, put some on Twitter, and we got a couple of nice questions that maybe we're going to answer today. A couple of statements, too, that I think we're just going to dive in on. So why don't we get going here with Mr. J. Appreciate you sending in a question. And he said this: we need a wide receiver. Yeah, we do. I don't really know how better we could start off with this, but the problem is the Chiefs' cap space. Who could they really get? We're going to explore that real quick here, as I think there is a couple options. I think there's some ways you can work around that cap space and overall find a wide receiver to kind of implement into this Chiefs offense and hopefully kind of jumpstart this thing to get going, as I haven't really seen the Chiefs offense that we expected this season. Here's 6 wide receiver trade targets that I think the Chiefs could look at and that are on the trade block right now. The first 2 come from a division rival with Courtland Sutton and Jeudy. You have Mecole Hardman, the former Chief, who we've talked about before on this channel. Hunter Renfrow, again, division rival there with the Raiders. Marquise Brown out of the Cardinals, and Darnell Mooney in the Chicago Bears. Now, the problem with 3 of those is that they're in your division. And I'm not saying that the Broncos or the Raiders may not trade them to you, but the likelihood of them trading to a division rival, if there's other suitors out there that maybe would give them the same or maybe even a little less, I think they might take that over giving it to the Chiefs, especially with kind of the, let's just say, debacle around how good the Chiefs are. So taking those 3 out, I want you to pick a trade here. Let's just fantasize here. Say the Chiefs' cap space doesn't matter. Say that Brett Veach finds a way to work it out. There's 3 guys that I think we could work with. Mecole Hardman, who we know has been on the Chiefs before and has shown success. Marquise Brown, who obviously Arizona not going anywhere this year. Maybe he gets traded again after going from the Ravens to the Cardinals. Maybe he goes from the Cardinals to the Chiefs. Or the third option, Darnell Mooney, who is wide receiver technically 2 on the Bears. Could he be a potential wide receiver 1 on the Chiefs? Maybe, and I think that's where I want to start because I want Mooney. I'm going to be quite honest. I think he has all the assets of a wide receiver that could succeed in a Chiefs offense. He's athletic. He's capable of receiving the ball well. And the stats aren't that bad considering the way the Bears season has gone. You have 8 receptions for 104 yards. And I'm not going to say that that's eye-popping numbers, but I'm going to look more at the average there. Because when you're getting 13 average yards per catch, well, that's pretty dang good. The 1 touchdown, that's neither here nor there. It's just kind of the way the Bears season has gone. But we've seen it before. Mahomes could make Darnell Mooney a star. He's done it with Mecole Hardman in his career. He's done it with Juju Smith-Schuster in his career. I think basically if you take this and you look at it like, okay, if Mooney has all the aspects of the way to run a route, the way to go and receive the ball, then who's to say that the best quarterback in the National Football League could not turn Darnell Mooney into an absolute stud? I think he's already got some aspects. I think it'd be a good trade. You'd have to work out some money, but I think it's definitely there. We appreciate the question, Mr. J. I like diving into all the wide receiver trade topics. Let's go to another statement, question, comment, whatever you want to call it, from Azariah Bowling. We appreciate you, Azariah, saying, watching this team develop is a lot of fun. I know people are down the offense, but as a former coach, I see the depth they will end up with, and I see the excitement of the young players. I wish the Royals would learn what the Chiefs are showing you and can develop talent and win. Well, they do have Bobby Witt, so I think they're doing that, but that's a little harder to do that in the MLB. I'll say that. But I want to dive into this. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you about the daily fantasy sports app of my choosing, and that is Prize Picks, who we are super excited to have as a sponsor of the Chiefs Report. Now, Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS, and it's going to add a ton of excitement to your sports viewing experience. Watch your progress update in real time and win up to 25 times your entry amount. You can cash out your winnings with quick scoring, settling, and withdrawals. And with Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you're just going to have to pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And with the Chiefs already playing their game, well, I got some time to catch up and watch some football this Sunday. And I'm going to pick some really young and talented players with my boy Sam Howell. I'm going more. He's facing the Falcons. He looked pretty good last week. I think he can go more there. Justice Hill, who him and Gus Edwards are splitting the running back duties, but Hill has overall looked better than Edwards, in my opinion. And then Bijan Robinson not getting a touchdown. Yeah, right. Not a chance he does not. Man, looks like I'm going to be watching a lot of the Commanders and Falcons game this Sunday because I got more, and if you're not doing more, well, then are you really living? I'm also doing the power play where if I get all 3 of those right, I'm getting 5 times my money. So here's what I want you to do. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and then use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Free money, everybody. Free money. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS again. Use code CLNS. First deposit match of $100. It takes less than 60 seconds to get your picks in. Shout out to Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Okay, let's dive into this question here. And really this statement kind of talking about the young talent on this Chiefs team. Because you're right. You're right, Azariah. They do. They have very, very good young talent. And these 4 guys, they were all drafted within the past 2 years. And they're all already, I would say, stars at their position. Trent McDuffie is the 3rd-ranked PFF cornerback in the entire league. Isiah Pacheco has had a breakout season unlike anybody expected. Rashee Rice maybe has been a first-round pick that they got in the 2nd round. And then George Karlaftis in his 2nd year is forming into really an actual force on that right side. Now, you also said that everybody's down in the offense. And I think that's because the expectations are just high. That's just how it is. The expectations for everybody on this team are high. But there is one guy who I think is performing. It's just the Chiefs aren't letting him get, really the snap percentage he deserves. And that's Rashee Rice. See, he leads the team in receptions. At one point, he led the team in wide receiver yards along with first down conversions. This guy is an absolute beast. And with Justin Watson now injured with that right hand, I don't really know what the future holds, but it seems like Rashee Rice could be a threat here and could be the wide receiver 1 officially. Problem is his snap percentage has not been there, which is similar to another guy we're going to talk about later in this show. But I want to switch over to the defense real quick and talk about George Karlaftis, who, again, is forming into an absolute stud on the edge. And when you talk about that you could have a potential defensive line where you have one side of George Karlaftis and Chris Jones, yeah, I don't want to see that if I'm an offensive lineman. No freaking way. Or you could do it where you have Karlaftis on one edge, you move Chris Jones past the tackler, then you have 2 sides of pressure. And I think that's what the Chiefs have kind of been doing up until this point. It makes for a scary, scary defensive line. But I want to know from you. I listed those 4 players, but maybe there's another Chiefs young player that you like. Justyn Ross, Rashee Rice. Is there somebody that you like? Let me know in the comments of today's video. Who is your favorite young Chiefs player? There's a lot of studs coming out of here. I think Trent McDuffie is definitely an underrated one. He could be a star. He already is a star in the making. Let me know who is your favorite young Chiefs player. Let's go to another question here from Joshua Wingert saying, while I'm excited to see this offense continue to grow, it's also a bit discouraging that the wideouts can't seem to get open. I wish Ross got some more snaps. Yep. Yeah, you're right. I mentioned Justyn Ross, and we're going to talk about him. Marquez Valdes-Scantling leads the team in snap counts for wide receivers at 258. Sky Moore behind him. Justin Watson, who is now injured, has 181. Rashee Rice with 158 is surprising considering how well he has played. And Kadarius Toney with 109. But to go back to your question, Ross, well, he's at 64 snaps. Now, he technically would be 6th on that list, so It's not like there's somebody above him, not like Montrell Washington or Richie James, who has been injured, is over him. But it's still 15% of the snaps. For a guy that the Chiefs raved about in preseason, for a guy that the Chiefs loved, why is he only getting 15% of the snap count when, especially, he's made 2 great catches against the Vikings? Now, did he drop 2 balls? Yes, you have to kind of take that into effect. But it's just kind of crazy that you're only getting 15% from a guy that literally was talked about all preseason by not just the fans, by the coaching staff, by the front office, by Patrick Mahomes. They loved Ross, and they're just not using him. Well, there's an easy way to let me know if you want more of Ross, and that's by liking today's video. It supports the channel, and 100%, it shows me that you want more of Justyn Ross. You want to see him on the field and going out and making some amazing catches like we saw in the preseason where he rossed a guy catching a ball in the end zone against the Browns. Dude is the real deal. I hope we can see him. And boy, oh boy, I mentioned at the top of the show, he needs more snaps. That's what it is. He just needs more snaps. That's the guy. He's got to get it. And guess what? I think he will in the upcoming games. Fingers crossed, especially with the Watson injury. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. Let's go to another question here as Vlog Time. He's been on a couple of these shows. We appreciate you, Vlog Time. He says, looking at the upcoming schedule, who are you most worried about? Well, let's dive into that. Who are the next, technically 3 games, because you have a bye week? Well, it's the Chargers in Arrowhead. You play the Broncos again 2 times in 3 weeks. I know, crazy. Technically, you had the Thursday night, so it's a little longer than 3 weeks. And then you go to Germany, and you take on the Dolphins. At the beginning of the season, they didn't. The Dolphins scare me now. They do. Their offense is incredible. Now, I think that's where the Chiefs' defense is going to be tested because, I mean, have they played well against pretty much everybody thus far? Yeah, but, there's also not been a good offense. The Vikings should have been, but they aren't. The Dolphins scare me, and they're the first in points per game. Now, I know you have a 70-point game in there. That kind of boosts the numbers up a heck of a lot more than you would think. But they still scare me, especially when the Chiefs aren't scoring as much as they should. I will say I'm surprised the Chiefs are 9th in scoring in terms of points per game. I thought they might have been lower. So I guess you got to kind of realize that the Chiefs' offense is maybe performing well than we're all thinking. But you got 2 weeks to get it going. You got 2 weeks. And it's against the Chargers, whose the defense is not good. We've said that before. And the Broncos, who the defense is not good. And by the time you see the Denver Broncos in 2 weeks, they may lose some of their defensive pieces that make them even a threat at all on defense. They're not going to be there, or maybe they will. Either way, you just have to get past Patrick Surtain. That's it. I think you can do it. Make this next 2 weeks count by getting this Chiefs offense going. That's all I ask. And I know Mahomes is feeling the pressure a little bit. Not the fact that he got to win, but the fact that, hey, we see this. Are the Chiefs the team to beat? That's the question people are asking. Well, guess what? Mahomes, go out and prove it to him. We appreciate you watching the video as always. If you're a part of Chiefs Kingdom and you want to get some more Chiefs content in your life, then why don't you subscribe, hit that little red button, and I really appreciate it and make me the happiest Chiefs fan in the entire world. Hit that subscribe button. We're posting daily content every single day. And with that, we will see you in the next Chiefs Report video. Peace out.